Welcome back, everyone, to episode 54 of the Thick and Thin Show. Tonight, we are minus Duty. He's got a rash he needs to take care of. It's a kind of flaring up a little bit. It's getting a little bit of cream, maybe a little antibiotic shot. But hopefully, he'll be back next week. But I do have Bacon with me tonight, and we're going to hold it down because we're going to talk about video game movies. Woo!
That is correct.
Didn't make us suck.
What's going on, everybody?
How you doing, Roger? What's new with you?
Oh man, I've had a long week at work. They're working me really hard. I'm tired. But other than that, the weather is really nice. It's about 24 Celsius. I don't know what 70 something for you guys Fahrenheit.
Yeah. Well, that's probably like 48, so probably somewhere around like 70, 72.
Yeah, that's pretty average for us. It's room temperature. So yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Winter's gone.
It's 85 on the West Coast today, or at least in Southern California. So
see, like I know I'm from Canada and all, but I don't like heat. Like
no.
I like room temperature. Like 24 is comfortable. I don't like 33, which I don't know, which would be like in the 90s for you guys. Like it's too hot.
That sucks. I can do heat if it's like a dry heat, like Arizona or Southern California or Nevada. But if you go to like Florida or Mississippi or anything like that with that humidity, screw that, dude. I'm out. It just kills me. I want to like punch myself in the nuts when it's like that hot and humid. So.
All right, so what we got for site news?
Well, it looks like the GUI goes live video on Monday. There was a little bit of a delay. I thought it was supposed to be this week, but I guess it got pushed back to next week.
Probably something to do with Duty's rash.
Yes,
probably.
His rash probably prevented the GUI live show. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
As far as the time, I'm not real sure. You definitely maybe check a couple of their podcasts and hopefully they'll tell you. But my best guess is sometime after 6:30 Central. I'm sure they'll announce it on the site. We'll probably do a user alert, the yellow bar at the top, saying, hey, this is what time, so keep your eye out for that. The GUI name change is final and to be revealed soon. So hopefully the big reveal will be Monday. For everyone that sent in the submission, thank you very much. And I guess we'll find out what fantastic name has been chosen. So excited to see about that.
I wonder what they chose. I'm very curious.
I don't know. I mean, it's a good thing they'll let us know. But, I mean, what did they announce like some of the front runners or anything like that?
Well, the last time they had a podcast, I think they announced maybe top 10 or so submissions, but I think they weren't really happy with those 10, so they were expecting more. So who knows? An unknown could have stuck in for all we know. For all we know.
Now, I guess we'll find out. So everyone tune in on Monday on that. Also, if you guys from the site, if you do stream your game, stream your clan nights, not in a clan, you want to stream your WoW play or whatever, let Duty know. As long as you have a Twitch account, you got a computer that's, somewhat current and, you want to get it up, we'll try to walk you through it. Roger will be real good help on that. I can try to put you in the total wrong direction, so don't contact me. But Duty or Roger are your guys. You can PM them on the site, and they can help you out with that.
Yeah, we'll definitely, hook you up with Tool to Play streaming stuff. I know a lot of guys on Tool to Play stream. I know at least 2 or 3 guys that stream. And soon our own LB will be streaming, according to...
That's the rumor.
According to Duty there. I don't know if... He says he sent the package, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well, according to Duty, he sent it on Friday. And he said he sent it ground. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Give him another week.
He got it in there Friday. So that means it probably started shipping on Monday. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 5 days ground from UPS from Chicago to SoCal is realistic. So if it's not here Friday or if it's not here Monday, something's gone terribly wrong again. So we'll see. I'm not sure how many people will actually want to see me fail playing video games, but it should be pretty
I have faith that he sent it. No, it'll be good if you start streaming, because right now it's just me. Duty doesn't even stream.
Yeah,
So yeah,
no.
we need more people on there.
Oh, it'll be good. We get the channel some exposure and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Whether it be
yeah,
good or bad, exposure is good.
yeah.
So let's move on to our main topic of video game movies. What I've actually done is I've put the link into the Twitch chat there of the Wikipedia page we're going to be using, kind of listing all the different video game movies, or at least as accurate as Wikipedia can be. And if you want to follow it along and contribute in chat, feel free to do so. So what we got here is we're going to talk about the international ones, since those are the main ones everyone has probably either heard of or actually maybe seen a few of them. We're going to stick to those. Not going to do, just Japan or just, straight to DVD or anything like that. These are just the big ones. So, of course, the first one we got up is Super Mario Brothers. Release date was May 28th, 1993. Roger, were you live at 1993?
Oh yeah, definitely. Honestly, when Duty told me that the topic was going to be video game movies, the first thing that I thought, like the first thing that came up to my mind was Super Mario Brothers. Like to me, that was like the first real, legit video game movie that came out. I was so pumped when I went to go watch it in the theaters. Man, that movie was bad. Like even back then, that movie was bad. And I recently saw it on TV. It is worse than what I thought back then. Like, man, that movie was terrible. That was career ending for some of those guys.
I saw it like a long time ago, and I'm totally with you. It was horrible. It was. I mean, let's be real. Most of video game movies are pretty bad.
Yeah.
There's like a 10% of them are like at least tolerable or decent. Everything else from there is pretty much a giant pile of crap. And what will kind of help with that is I'll read off what budget they used to make the video and then the box office for the movie. So we'll get a real idea. So for your Super Mario Brothers, your budget was $48 million. The box office, $20,915,000 and change. So
I'm kind of surprised with that number, actually. I thought it would be a lot higher than that. I thought they would have broke even, at least.
Well, yeah, I thought it'd have a closer to a break-even point, but wow.
And
I mean, not even
48
halfway.
million back then, that must have been like Waterworld money. Like...
It was up there.
Yeah.
It was definitely up there. I mean, that's some pretty big coin to kick out there and not even get half your money back. I mean, that's pretty sad. Next one up is Double Dragon. Budget was a whopping $16 million. So a third of that of Super Mario Brothers, right? Are you ready for the box office?
Go ahead.
Are you ready?
Oh, man, I didn't know it was that bad.
$2,341,000. That's bad.
I'm pretty sure I was one of those. Like at least $10 of that of mine went in there.
So do you actually think do you remember paying to see that?
I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that in theaters. I think. I don't know. I vaguely remember it. It was so long ago, 94.
I did not see it in theaters. I waited for that shit to come out it was like DVD, and I think I rented it.
Yeah, that's definitely a rental.
I was like, nah, no thanks. Next one up is Street Fighter. Release date December 23rd, 1994. So a mere month later, and a couple weeks. Budget $35 million. And we have our first winner, folks, at the box office. They pulled in $99,423,000. So, well done.
That was a pretty successful movie, I guess, but it wasn't very good.
No, it was bad.
It was pretty bad. Like, I think the only reason why they made all that money is the cast. Jean-Claude Van Damme was Guile. And
yeah.
What's his name that died? He died filming this movie. The guy that played Bison, Raul, Adam's Family guy.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either, but I totally know you're talking about.
I know he died filming this movie. Like, this was his last movie. So, I don't know. Terrible movie.
Yeah.
Have you started to notice the theme here? Like, all these movies are terrible.
Oh, they're horrible. I mean, well, okay.
Here we
Now, to
go.
be fair,
Next on the list, though.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
next on the list is Mortal Kombat, and honestly, I like Mortal Kombat. I'll still
I
watch
like
it to
Mortal
this
Kombat.
day. You know, it pops on TV. I'm like, oh, check it out. Da, da, da. But Mortal Kombat, you know, they only had an $18 million budget, but big winner, they pulled in $122 million
I bet you they
on an
also made
18
more.
million.
They made more with DVDs for sure.
Oh, probably. I mean, this, I don't know when that dollar amount was last updated, but I mean, that's box office. So I don't think that's total dollars through, you know, DVD sales and everything since then.
Is
But
it safe to say that Mortal Kombat was the first successful video game movie?
I think it's very safe to say that. I mean, even like looking back on some of the other stuff, it definitely was a big shocker. I didn't think it pulled in that amount of money. I knew it was pretty popular, and it, you know, it did really well. You know, I don't remember ever hit #1 in the box office, but it was up there for a good couple weeks. So, I mean, and it was pretty good. I mean, the music was, you know, in touch with the actual video game. I thought they stayed pretty true to the characters and their abilities and everything, and it worked. It wasn't like some uber cheesy crap where they're like, oh, let's make it real kiddie, and it was a little more, I guess you could say, gritty, but, you know, I don't want to be like, oh, it's like
Yeah. For back then, it was probably gritty.
Yeah.
For back then.
For the time, it gave a little edge to it.
One thing that they did good about that movie was the fact that they didn't oversaturate with all the characters. Like, they just concentrated on the core ones and didn't, like, do craziness. Like, unlike the next movie, the sequel.
The sequel to Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which released a couple of years later, there was a whopping $30 million budget, but they only pulled in a $51 million in the box office. So, yes, they still did have a profit off of it. I'm saying that's more due to that it's the follow-up to it and the actual quality of the movie compared to the first one. But I still watched it in the theaters. I still paid money to go see it.
Yeah, me too. I liked the movie. It's just, like what I said, there was way too many characters. It was really cheesy than the first one. I don't know. I don't know what happened between the first one and the second one, but yeah. I like one better than two. Two was more like Street Fighter to me.
Yeah, it definitely went back a level. You're like, they got more money. I mean, considering, you know, they got almost twice the budget, but they didn't bring near the quality, so it was a little bit of a disappointment. Now, next up was Wing Commander, and I loved Wing Commander playing that as a kid. I thought it was great, so I was really excited to see this. It's $30 million budget, but it only brought in $11.5 million, and I'm like, I saw the movie, and I was like, okay, it's a video game movie, but I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, did you see it in theater?
No,
Did you see it?
I never actually ended up seeing the theater, and I only knew about that movie maybe like a few years ago when I heard that what's his name was the main character.
Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Yes, Freddie Prinze Jr. Once I heard that, I was like, really? But no, I never saw that movie. I'm glad.
I liked it. I thought the effects were pretty good. I thought the acting was all right. You know, it wasn't anything that, you know, going to send him an award over for or anything. But it is what it is. And it was, you know, sci-fi, so I like the sci-fi aspect to it. But I thought it would bring in a whole lot more money than that.
Now the next one. Wow.
Now we start like some real serious stuff.
Yeah.
You've got Lara Croft Tomb Raider. So this one was, you know, crazy. They gave it a $115 million budget. So they really threw money into it. Obviously, you're looking at the cast, you're looking at the sets and everything like that. And it did pay off because it brought in $274,703,000. So it's one of my guilty pleasures. I really like the Lara Croft series of movies. I like them all, you know, especially Angelina Jolie with the boobies. I like the boobies. But other than, you know, besides the boobies, I liked the movie. I thought it was done pretty well. You know, it was kind of like Chick Indiana Jones, you know, and actually kind of they pulled it off. So, I mean, did you see it in the theater?
Yeah, I saw it in the theater. I think I own the movie as well. I think that was the first movie that legitimized video game movies, because all the movies before that were pretty garbage.
Yeah.
Like they threw 115 million budget. Like they must have, they were taking a chance back then. So yeah, it's definitely, it was a successful movie. And they made like what, 2 or 3 after that? I don't know.
I thought they made it was at least 2 after that,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if there was a third one with somebody else other than Angelina, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Next one up is the Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. Now, if you haven't seen that, that is all an animated movie, start to finish, no live action, any of that. It's all animation, and personally, the animation on that was top notch.
Yeah.
I mean, they spent, where is it? I just lost it. 137 million was the budget on that. But even if you watch it now, the animation on it, when you're watching it, there are still times, even in Blu-ray, where you're like, wow, it really looks really lifelike. And at the time when I watched it, I was like, holy shit, this is really amazing animation of what we're seeing. The movie itself was a little funky, was a little weird. I was kind of like, what? But it only pulled in 85 million. So
that surprises me, because the Final Fantasy name back then was like pretty big. I'm surprised they only made that. I ended up watching that movie on DVD. I didn't actually go to the theater to watch it. But I didn't understand it at all. I was completely lost.
Yeah, it was definitely, they went to left field with the concept of it. You know, I've actually seen it probably 5 or 6 times, you know, from the movie theater, and seen it on TV. And actually, recently I saw it again, maybe about a month ago. But even still, it's a little off the rails when they got to it.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, whoa, okay, well, if you're going that direction, fine, but whatever. Next up starts some of the scary video game to movie ones, and that's Resident Evil. Now this one made bank. They had a $33 million budget. They pulled in $102 million and change. I saw the first Resident Evil. I didn't like it.
Whoa.
I didn't. I was like, all right, it is what it is. But, you know, I wasn't like, whoa, to kind of justify bringing in so much money. I mean, what did you feel about that?
I did not watch it in theaters. I watched it when it came out on DVD, and I actually didn't know about the movie. And I was at a buddy's place, and he's like, "Hey, have you seen the new Resident Evil?" Pulled out the DVD. I'm like, "Oh, I never heard of it. Put it in." I freaking loved it. Like, I fell in love. Like,
wow.
I was scared. Like, I thought the deaths were cool, and the zombies, and looking back at all the Resident Evil movies to date, I still think that's my favorite one. And I've actually watched all of them. I actually really like the series, but the first one was my favorite one.
Wow.
I get the impression that a lot of people didn't like the Resident Evil movies, but there's a reason why they keep making them. Like,
well, haven't they made like 6 of them?
Yeah,
you know, as I'm looking through the
5 or 6, yeah. And yeah, I love them. Like, they're not very long movies. Like, there's not a crazy story. Like, but like, yeah, I love the Resident Evil movies. I think if it wasn't for that first one, I wouldn't have watched all the other ones.
Well, you know, I'm just kind of looking at the list here. Let's pick out some of the real stinkers. Let's go. All right. How about Blood Rain? Blood Rain,
Wow.
$25 million budget. Right? Not a huge budget. Not something crazy. It had $3.6 million in box office.
I didn't even know there was a Blood Rain movie.
I've seen it. And it was really bad. Blood Rain was really hot, and we actually had a topless scene with her, so there was that redeeming portion of it. But that's about it. It was bad. I mean, even like the editing was bad. I think I cut multiple times where you either saw wires or crappy sets that, you know, oh, there was a big chunk of styrofoam coming out. I mean, it was horrible. I'm like, how did they even get to 25 million? But I guess somebody, you know, fooled into the studio. So hey, if you give me cash, I'll bring home at least a little bit of profit, and it wasn't even close. Next up, I mean, even like people for Doom, people like hated Doom. They were like, "Oh, it was horrible. That was the worst video game movie
I didn't
ever."
like Doom at all. Like The Rock was in that, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know. No, I think they butchered it. The only thing I really liked about that movie was those first person angles that they had for like maybe like 5 minutes. I kind of liked that. It was kind of like I like when it goes back to its roots of its franchise.
Yeah.
But I don't know, they butchered it. But like back then, The Rock was such a big character, and then he was the bad guy in the end. I didn't like that movie. Well,
I mean, it still brought in its budget was 60 million, but it brought in just under 56 million. So at least it came close to breaking even.
Somebody
Not
lost
like
their house
Blood
because of that movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, how about Dead or Alive? Did you watch Dead or Alive?
I've only seen bits and pieces of it. I haven't seen the whole thing yet.
When I watched this on, I think it was DVD again. I don't think I went to the movie theater. I actually really liked DOA. Not because it was a good movie or well produced or anything. No, in that aspect, this movie was garbage. But from an aspect of keeping true to a video game, like to its stories and its characters, oh man, this is like actually watching a live action video game. Like it was, I like everything was like dead accurate to like a Watchmen. Like it's just so accurate. It was kind of disturbing, and there was a lot of boobies and girls wearing short shorts and skirts and stuff. And I liked it. Guilty pleasure.
Well, I'm kind of going over the list here, trying to look for like some other big winners, like Hitman. Its budget was 24 million.
You got to talk about Hitman.
Pulling 100 million. I liked it. I watched it and I was like, because like I haven't played any of the Hitman games, so I didn't have that background going into it. But I thought for a little bit of an action movie, I thought it was decent. I wasn't blown away, but I didn't feel like I wasted my cash seat.
Right. I didn't think it was a waste. I thought it was definitely a good first entry into a series. Like I thought they were gonna make more after this. Like they kind of wanted to test the waters, and obviously it did well. It did 4 times what they put into it. Right. And I was a little disappointed that it made a sequel, but I don't know. Do you know that they're making a sequel now?
Are they really?
Word on the street. Yeah. Paul Walker is supposed to come back. Well, is supposed to take on the role of Agent 46 or 47, whatever.
Really?
So they might bring it back, and hopefully they do.
Well, I'd go see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd wait in line to go see it or anything like that, but hopefully they can keep the same feeling of it and same quality into it. Maybe get a little bit more budget to hopefully get a little bit more in the box office.
I'm sad they're not bringing back the main guy that was in the original. I don't remember his name, but I thought he was good. Whoever the main character's name is. I mean, the actor. Paul Walker. Now we'll see.
Now here's a huge stinker, and honestly, I didn't even know this was a movie.
I think I know where you're going with this. I didn't know either.
Next up on our list, or ones we're going to bring up, is Far Cry.
Did not know this.
Successful video game series, multiple games out there. If someone told me a movie was coming out now, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, maybe, I'll see it. I guess they spent $30 million on a budget to see that, right? They got a whopping $755,000 in box office.
See, that pisses me off, man. It's movies like this that ruin it for other video games. Like,
now, is that an Bol or whatever his name is, director? The evil waste of flesh video game director that everybody hates?
Yeah, he's the director. I actually had to click on this. I had to see a little bit more.
Well, that's got to be the reason why. I mean, I don't know how that guy keeps getting to direct video games. Look, he's got other ones that are just as big flops, or at least flops, but he keeps getting money to show these games. Who's out there was like, okay, you've had 3 or 4 shots. I think on the 5th time you're going to be okay.
Hey, did you know there's a family member of yours in this movie?
There's a what?
One of your family members is in this movie.
Far
Chris.
Cry?
Yeah, Chris. How do you pronounce your last name? Coppola?
It's Coppola.
Coppola, that's it. He played as Emilio.
Oh my god.
Do you know a Chris in your
I'm
family,
clicking
by
on the
any
link
chance?
right now. Let's see if there's a picture. I don't know. I mean, maybe somewhere down the line, but I did not know.
Family
I
tree,
think-
man. Family tree.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look for that on Netflix and see if I can find Far Cry. I've got to see it now. I've got to see it because it's just looking at the list, it looks like it's the biggest disappointment out of everything. I mean, I'm looking for the dollars. It's the least amount brought in. I mean,
It's a
another one's
German
close.
Film adapted. I don't know what that means.
Oh, it's so bad. I've got to see it. It's so bad.
That's terrible. Yeah, I gotta see it. It's true. What else we
let's
got?
see.
Max
Let's
Payne.
look. Max Payne.
Who was the main character? Mark Wahlberg, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
I actually have not seen this movie, unfortunately.
I've seen like 10 minutes of it, but not the whole thing yet.
Yeah, I want to. It made 85 million. It only cost 35, so maybe they're not going to do a sequel, but they made money.
Yeah, but I think I think a lot of that was due to that it was Wahlberg.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was about to say that. It was definitely Wahlberg.
Let's see. What's another
Street Fighter:
huge...
Legend of Chun Li. Hell, freaking
Yeah.
no!
So bad. It was so bad.
Oh man, that thing cost $50 million and
It's
only
a chick
made
from
12.
Smallville, right? Sabretooth chick?
Yeah. Christine Kreutz was Chun Li.
Yes. Yes, Sabretooth. She's all like,
Oh,
I'm like,
that was bad.
no. How did she get that film? But she did. And obviously, it was a giant pile of crap because they only pulled in $12 million after the $50 million budget. So, huge fail on that point.
Another movie I didn't know about, Tekken. Didn't know they made a Tekken movie.
There's a reason for that because they did really, really bad. $30 million budget, just under $1 million in revenue at the box office.
But that must have been anime, no? I can't see that being live action. Even then, even if it is an anime, it still did terrible.
It's bad. It's really bad. I mean, if you click on it, you know, its wiki page and everything like that, it's just not a good thing. I mean, that's a huge, almost as bad as Far Cry.
Yeah.
Which, you know, says a lot, but it's a huge disappointment. But then,
what about the next one?
Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
Yeah.
Huge budget, $200 million.
I can't believe they spent that much money. Like, that's crazy.
Well, didn't that have what's his name? The director from
James Cameron?
was it James Cameron? No, I thought it was the Pirates of the Caribbean director. Was he not doing it? Hold on. Let's bring
Mike Newell.
Oh no.
Oh, produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. That's who I was thinking.
That's why.
Bruckheimer. Interesting.
Well, he produced it, so you know that's gonna instantly bunch up the budget there, and it did make a profit. It brought in $335 million, but still, that's a lot of money in there.
That's a lot of money to put into a
movie. They
movie.
were probably making 2-to-1 on that, and they weren't even close.
Yeah. There's no surprise why they didn't make a sequel to that. I think it costs too much money.
Well, you know, it's entertainment. You know, they're going to roll the dice, and I'm sure that I think it came out the same time as some. You know, of course, it came out in summer for blockbuster stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the movies it came out with pulled a lot from it. So, but even still, I watched it. You know, I enjoyed it, but I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. I thought it was a little bit cheesy.
I've only seen bits and parts. I've never actually seen the movie in full. But, yeah, I wouldn't mind. I like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you've got 2 more of the Resident Evil movies, Afterlife and Retribution. Now,
Wow, they make a lot of money.
yeah, I mean, this
I
kind of
didn't
really
know
blows me
this.
away. Afterlife
Whew.
got a $60 million budget and brought in $296 million.
Well, their answers are a question from earlier, like why they keep making those movies. Wow.
Well, yeah, they're making 5 to 1 on their investment. Anyone's going to do that. I mean, even Resident Evil Retribution, 65 million pulled in 221 million. So that's a little closer to a
A
little more
little
than
bit of
4 to 1.
decline, but
I
wow.
mean, I mean, look at the first one. Resident Evil only brought in 102, but then Resident Evil Extra Extinction brought 147. Then the next one from that, Afterlife. I mean, they keep going up. More money keeps
Yeah.
coming in,
That's
and it's not
crazy.
like they're progressively, really kicking up the budget. They're doing a little bit, but they're really. I mean, they're bringing a shit ton of money, and I don't know. I haven't seen the last two because I'm not a big fan. How would you feel between the recent two compared to the first two?
Story wise, I like the last two, um, compared to 2 and 3. I thought
Yeah,
4 and 5 were definitely way better. Like I said before, I still like one overall, but the last two have been way more entertaining for me, story wise and action wise. I'm actually kind of waiting for the next movie to come out, just because I want to see the continuing story. Like Afterlife and Retribution kind of had the same, like it was a continuation, from the third movie.
yeah.
So I like how they've kept this chronicle order, and I'm kind of excited to see how the next one, plays out. But that series in general, like it's like The Walking Dead. Like the characters are not safe. Nobody's safe. The only character that's safe is Mila Jovovich. Like
Yeah.
everyone else is expendable.
I mean, I like and hate that at the same time with Walking Dead because if you follow the comic, not to get
Yeah,
attached to anyone.
right.
And with my TV shows, I like to get attached to someone, but I know I can't. So it pisses me off because every time I'm like, because my wife hasn't read the comic or anything, and she just really started recently watching it, and I'm like, she'll start to say how much she likes the character or whatnot, and I'm like, not really say anything, but in my head, I'm like, it's gonna suck to be you because I know what's coming up. So, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Have you? How many other comics have you read?
for the Walking Dead stuff,
Yeah.
um, I've read a few of the beginning of the series, and
Yeah.
then hopped in every once in a while. But I think I got actually the first 10 or 15 when they came out. Mm, I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry, folks, I can't remember. But I started to really get back into it, and then there was another one, 28 Days Later, that I really got into
Hmm.
for the comic as well. But it's good stuff. I mean, hopefully, I'd like to see Walking Dead maybe even hit the movie theater from the television series and see how it kind of does from there. I
I
don't know
think
if they
I think
would
they
do
could do
that.
it.
I think they could, but
They have a lot of
I don't know.
story to get from the comics. Like
Yeah,
there's a shit ton that they don't show on the TV show. Like a
yeah,
shit ton.
yeah.
All right,
Uh,
so upcoming and announced, well, rumored games.
Assassin's Creed, okay, that would be kind of cool to see. Need for Speed, uh, Need for Speed.
Yeah, I don't know.
Uh,
Oh, to go back to Assassin's Creed, who's rumored to be the main character? Michael Fassbender. I, what do you think of that? Like,
Fassbender, which one's he?
he's Magneto from First Class. He's
Actually, you know what? Actually, you know
put
what?
him
Now
in that
thinking about it,
suit. He's a good actor, I
yeah,
think.
and he can do that dark, not reserved, but dark, sullen kind of character.
Yeah.
I think he could
I
pull it
think that
off.
could be a good movie. I'm curious to see like how big of a budget they gave the movie. They're giving in the movie, but yeah, I could see that movie working. It's a big franchise too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, hopefully. I mean, it says release date is supposed to be 2013, but
I haven't heard anything.
no. I
Who
mean,
knows that's coming out?
Summer's just around the corner, and if they haven't already started advertising it now, that means it's going to be instantly bumped to like Christmas time, and even then, I mean, maybe we'll see something, but I haven't seen anything from there. Need for Speed. Listen, a guilty pleasure of mine is the Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm with you, man. I love Fast and Furious.
I don't Need for Speed. I don't.
Yeah.
I've got my Fast and Furious. Need for Speed. I don't know. Maybe they had a little twist on it. Maybe they're going to try to, get a little spin, but no thanks. Not going to be spending my money on that.
Like, I wonder how they would do that. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Oh, well. What do we got next?
Up,
Angry
Resident
Birds?
Evil film.
Oh.
That will make money, but they don't
They haven't really said much
on that. They say September 12th, 2014, so they've got a little time on that.
Deus Ex, I don't see that happening.
Probably not. I mean, maybe it's more of a straight to DVD release, maybe not big screen. I could maybe see them doing it, but probably not.
What about Angry Birds?
Now, who the fuck is going to make an Angry Birds movie?
Well,
seriously?
No, this really is happening. Like, this is legitimate. But it's obviously going to cater to like younger crowd. Like, I don't see this being like a freaking like an adult movie. Like, we got to go see Angry Birds.
I know.
Like, it's got to be an animation, like cartoon movie for kids.
I mean,
because I don't know. Do you play Angry Birds on your phone?
I played on our Kindle Fire a little bit.
Because just recently they've introduced, and the only reason why I know this is because whenever my nieces come over, they want my phone to play Angry Birds. Is they have like this like video series now, like they have like episodic video clips.
Really?
Yeah, and she loves watching these. And like the other day, she's like, "Uncle Roger, can we get more?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Then I looked in and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, they do have videos. So yeah, I don't know, maybe this will be good.
What are the videos like? Do they just kind of like,
showing the birds and hopping around and the pigs? I don't know. I haven't really actually watched it.
Wow.
But yeah, no, she loves that stuff. I don't know.
Well, the next one up, now I could see them doing something pretty decent. I mean, Warcraft. I mean, hello. How much money have they pulled in over the years? Now, I think they would have to get some bigger names on here to pull people into it to actually just want to see the movie if they haven't played the game. But I definitely think they could do a decent, maybe even a trilogy out of it. Because, the whole fantasy aspect and everything like that.
Lord of the Rings style.
It does really well. And they're going to have to get, who did The Hobbit? Who's that?
Like director?
Yeah.
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson. You're going to need someone with his, or even Guillermo
del Toro?
Yeah. Like those guys, they kind of get the whole fantasy thing because you've got the Hellboy movies, just kind of going back to comic books. Del Toro, he did a great job for the Hellboy movies. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Hellboy. I really liked him. And I think the second one visually was amazing. So I think either of those guys could really put together something really good, or at least someone with along the same ideals or thought path of putting it together. But again, who knows what kind of budget they're actually going to get.
I would assume they'll get a big budget. Like when I think Warcraft, like that's... I think everybody knows what Warcraft is. Like even if you've never played the video game, like it's been out for so long, it's such a big, like it's fairly popular. Yeah. I could see this movie just making money on its name alone. It would have no name actors. It would still make a lot of money, but combining the two, like the name of Warcraft and big name actors, I could see this being successful. So we'll see.
We'll kind of just sprint through the rest here. Another Tomb Raider reboot.
Meh.
Yeah, we'll see what they come up with that. Heavenly Sword.
Meh.
Depending on how they do it, if was it?
I hope they don't do it like Chung-Li.
No,
please
if they
no.
go that route, it'll be bad. If they went something more along the lines of like Crouching Tiger or Hidden Dragon or whatever.
Yeah.
Along those lines, I think they could kind of get away with a lower budget, but it'd still be decent. So. I don't know if they will, but it is what it is.
I hope they make another Mortal Kombat.
I think they need another shot. I think they'll be okay. The rumored budget is between 40 and 50 million, so who knows
Now,
what they'll be able to bring in.
the only reason why I think this movie's being made is because of the live action um, series that's come out on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
Legacy, and I think they have a second season, which I only watched half of. I don't know if they continued it, but I think that's what they're basing it on, and I hope that's the route they go with the Mortal Kombat. Have you seen the live action series on YouTube?
I've only seen a little like clips of it. I haven't seen the whole thing, but wasn't there? Didn't somebody put that together like a fan film type thing?
Well, it started off, yeah, it wasn't a fan film, but like a couple of big name no, not big name, a couple of actors got together and they filmed like a trailer, and then the trailer got like really popular on YouTube, and like the girl from Star Trek, Seven of Nine, the blonde girl, I don't remember her name. She was Sonya in that trailer.
Uh,
The guy that played Spawn, the black guy, he was
really?
Jax. And then somebody else was Sub Zero or Scorpion, another big name actor. And that trailer got popular, and then they made the live action series, which was only like 10 episodes on Machinima. And then they did a second season, but it was like a totally different cast. And it was like a different story. Like they did more about like Scorpion and Sub Zero and their origin stories.
Uh,
But I liked it, and I hope they go with that route because it's more like Dark Knight, where it wasn't so like video gamey. It was more like they try to make stuff realistic.
mm-hmm.
Like Sub Zero didn't really shoot ice, but like like Scorpion actually did throw a dagger, but it didn't go through him and then get over here at night. It was really realistic, and I liked it. So I don't know. Hopefully, if they do make a Mortal Kombat movie, that's the route they go.
Now, this is what kind of blows my mind here. Tekken, Rise of the Tournament.
They didn't learn their lesson the first time.
How? Who?
Who greenlight this?
Companies. Go look. You gave $30 million last time and didn't break $1 million. So you're thinking round two, you've got to go for broke? Or are you thinking like, well, really can't do any worse, so maybe we'll do better? I mean, no, not gonna see it. Not gonna see it. I mean, maybe if it comes out and it hits the number one in box office for like 6 straight weeks, all right, maybe they figured it out, but no way. I don't get that. I don't get where people can justify that kind of money. But supposedly it's happening, so fuck you, Tekken.
I don't see this movie being made. There's no way. That's a rumor that just never comes to light, I think. Out of that list that we have left, the only movie that I'm actually excited for is Uncharted. But I don't see
Really?
this movie being made. They've
No,
been
I
talking
mean,
about it for so long. They had
yeah.
Mark Wahlberg playing Mark Wahlberg and Al Pacino, or one of those guys. Yeah, they were supposed to play the main characters, and then the director backed out. You would ask the guy, why did you cast Mark Wahlberg and not Nathan Fillion, like
Mm.
everyone expects in an Uncharted movie? And he's like, Nathan who? And he got a lot of backlash, and then he backed out. Then Wahlberg backed out, and I haven't heard anything since. I actually really like the Uncharted story, but I don't see this one being made.
I'm looking at the list. I kind of want to see the God of War. It says they got $150 million budget. A big budget doesn't guarantee success by any means,
Right.
but at least there is a budget there that somebody could really do something with. And I think, I've played some of the God of War stuff, and I kind of like that whole dark mythology kind of stuff, and your heroes condemned and all like that stuff. So I'd be
Mythology.
interested in seeing that. So
Yeah, have you seen oh man, it's a mythology movie with it's the first movie from the guy playing Man of Steel. Immortals. Have you seen Immortals?
I did see Immortals.
I could see God of War being like Immortals or 300. Like, put
Yeah.
the name in front of that, and like, yeah, you got money. You got yeah, trucks of money coming. I think
That's actually thinking about that. That's not bad. I kind of like
because it's the
going with
same.
the
It's the same
300.
universe. Well, not the same universe, but like mythology and gods, and
Yeah.
put a main character guy in there. Is there like a rumor as to who's gonna play Kratos?
No, I haven't done a lot of research into it, but
Who would you think, or who would you want as Kratos? Vin Diesel?
well, see, that's the first name that kind of comes to mind. But I'm kind of like, that's a little bit too easy.
Jason
You can.
Statham, whatever his name is.
No, he's. I don't think. Listen, when I think Kratos, I think a bigger dude. So I don't
Okay.
think Statham could pull it off. Rock, I think.
Oh, Rock. Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, I guess he could, but I don't really get that like dark, dark feeling from The Rock when I try to picture him playing a role.
Well,
So
have you seen Scorpion King? Is that it? He was a bad guy in that. He looked kind of badass. I don't know. It was his
the
first
only
movie.
reason he might be able to do. Have you seen? Is it Faster
No,
with him in it?
with The Rock.
Yeah,
No,
Dwayne Johnson.
no.
That movie actually, I don't know. In chat, can you help me out? Was it Faster with The Rock in it?
G40 saying
you-
it's faster. He said it's a good movie.
Yeah, I liked it. I went in to see it, and I had one way of thinking. I thought it was going to be like the typical Rock, overdone a little bit, but it was really a pretty good movie, and it was a little bit darker. It was a little bit more, seedy, and I kind of really liked it. So I think with that movie, he might be able to pull it off, but it's going to have to be the right mix, and he's going to have to be, I don't know, willing. Can you imagine the makeup he's going to have to do, like every day,
Yeah.
and how? I mean, that's going to be cake because he's a dark dude, so they're going to
Yeah.
have to really cake that on him or do a suit or something.
Do you think they'd be better off just getting like a darker skinned guy, like not to sound racist or anything?
I don't know. I mean, Rock has the body for it, but if you didn't go with him, you'd almost have to get somebody willing to wear a suit. That's gonna,
Hmm.
bulk him out that much, and I don't know. I don't know who else could really do it, but that's the one I'd really want to see.
Hopefully they make it. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. He's got a big name too, so we'll see.
All right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for us this week. Hopefully next week Duty will be back. His rash will be gone, and the pussing and the using will go away, and he'll be able to entertain you a little bit better than we have. But I hope you enjoyed a little bit of the video game movie week. And you got anything else to close out there, Roger?
No, I had a good time. That was good. A little bit different from our regular shows. This is more like a lot of people don't know this. Maybe some guys in the chat, but whenever we finish an episode, that's like another episode, like the uncensored, not live. Like those conversations are always good. So this is what this felt like. This felt like one of those after the stream conversations. So, where can they get a hold of you?
Well, if you're out on the interwebs, you can find me at Xbox Live, Twitter, Raptor, PSN, Steam, Lbsutke.
And
Where can they find you, Roger?
for me, you can find me on Twitter, Xbox Live, PSN, Raptor, YouTube. You can find me at i6hitman. That's Facebook. I use all those usernames, and my Twitch gaming channel which is twitch.tv/Watchtower Games. God, I wish I didn't get that account banned. God, it really drives me nuts. Anyway,
All right, everybody, and don't forget next Monday is it's next Monday, right, for the new GUI?
this coming up Monday, yeah.
This coming Monday, a few days from now, go ahead and come back into the Twitch, look at the site. I'm sure we'll have that user alert at the exact time. but we would appreciate the subscribes and the likes and all that good stuff. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great night.
See you guys. Take care.
November 4th, 1994. Budget was a whopping six. Hey, buddy, what's up? How you doing? Say hi to everybody. Hi.
How's it
All right,
going?
go upstairs. Yeah, you don't want to talk video game movies. Yeah. It's a nightmare for you. All right, sorry.